Um, Welcome everybody. This is Global Unified Breathing, and my name is Paula Rowe, and I'd like to welcome you to a little introduction into breath work and what it's all about. So before we get going, a couple things. If you'd like to contact me, please go over to soulawakeningproject.com contact page. You can send me a message there, or also you can get in touch with me at Global Unified Breathing the 2 at yahoo.com. So let's come together and focus our energy. And one of the ways that we can do that is be mindfulness about the words that I'm about to speak. So what I would like, if you would participate, is close your eyes and hear these words. Beloved Father, Mother God, we ask you to embrace us all in the ever-loving power of your heart. Breathe into each of us the divine love breath. Help us to remember that we are all one, to remember the truth of who and what we really are. With your grace, we accept this gift, and so it is. So today thank you for participating if you closed your eyes. So today what I'd like to do is I'd like to go into at least 15 minutes of breathing, which means that you're going to either lay down and listen, or if you prefer, you can sit up. But it's really important to be comfortable. And if you're not watching on your phone, if you could click off any distractions so you can really listen to my voice guiding you. So to continue to discover more about breath work, we want to utilize this kind of tool to enliven ourselves as a sense of renewal, for revitalization, for charging the body with more energy, to especially release toxins out of the body. And emotional toxins is really what breath work has become as a therapeutic healing modality, is that suppressed energy that is held within the cellular structure of the body has no way of getting out. It's just kind of dormant, and sometimes things happen and it's like cement. So if you think about a glass of water filled with water, and at the bottom of the glass of water is mud, dirt. It's been sitting there, so it's pretty solid. So the more water I would pour into the glass, the more eventually the water would start to loosen up, and eventually it would rise. This is exactly how it is with oxygen, the breath of God, coming into the body to release anything that's been sitting in there since the beginning of this life and possibly other lifetimes, is that it starts stirring the energy around. And because breath work really is a sacred, divine healing modality, that breath, which is coming from source, anything that needs to be removed and get out of the way so that you can move forward in your journey and have more energy and more clarity. That's what's, those things that are stuck in your body is what starts to rise to the surface. It's an incredible feeling to be aware that maybe you won't even know what you released, but that you feel lighter and freer, that you feel more purposeful, and that you feel the ability to move forward on your path is really something that is there. It's, you're ready. You want to go. And I know that in the first, say 6 months, I was really profoundly affected by the clearing that happened by just a few sessions with a private breath worker. So we're going to keep continuing to come together and breathe, and just so you can get used to it, because it is quite a powerful experience, and you will feel physical sensation within your body. And so today, what I'd like to do is I'd like to take you on a little journey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to breathe with you, and we're going to try to hold the focus, because remember, eventually we want to come together with a held focus of the breath, and then being able to send that out from our group coming together and then out into the world to affect goodwill and peace and change, that love breath that we can send out. So what we want to do today is, for the full 15 minutes, what I'm going to need you to do is, like I said, either lie down or be sitting in a comfortable chair. And if you can open up your energy, which means uncross your legs and open up your arms, and so that you're not inhibiting, because the breath will charge the body. Charging up is what it is. It's similar to building on top of each other, and you will start to feel sensation. So one of the things that's going to happen is you're going to get distracted, because there's going to be a part of you that is, I don't know what's going on. No, I don't want to do this. I don't want to breathe. And unconsciously, that is you responding to just how powerful that the superconscious does know how powerful that the breath is. So the breath has the ability to open up the pathways within the unconscious and then the superconscious mind. When we're functioning from this place, can you only imagine the clarity and that you can receive, more divine connection, more ability to know intuitively. A lot of people that experience these early on experiences come into a state of exploring an aspect of themselves that they never knew was there. They didn't have any idea. And for myself, I was trying to heal, as I told you last week, I was trying to heal from trauma of a brain injury. That was all. I had no idea in 6 months within breathing that I would be designing sportswear. And I would be selling it all over the country and traveling and showing these designs. I mean, it was a phenomenal experience, and it was so fast moving, but it didn't feel like it because it was so divinely directed. Energy freed up means energy is open to receiving. And when your intentions are good, things happen. And when you're in alignment with your true self, things happen that maybe you only dream or daydream about or talk about, but you don't have any way of getting that momentum going. That is what happened for me, is the momentum started moving. And if you would have told me that years later that I would be here speaking to you in this forum about the one thing that I love and that I'm passionate about, I would probably be like, oh, that's really silly. But here I am. because of my love for the breath. So a couple things before we get started. So I'm going to want you to, if you can, turn off your phone, like I said, and, just try to stay focused on my breath. Breath work can lead to a emotional and physical release. Release for the breather means something is going to move out. Remember, I was saying about the glass of water with the mud. As that mud comes to the surface, eventually, if I kept pouring more and more water in, what's going to happen is the water in the glass will be completely clear. The cell in your body where the suppressed energy is will be completely clear. Because this is a spiritual practice and divinely guided, we have no idea as to what needs to be released at any given moment. All of us, people come to me and say, I'm here because I want to release this. And I always say, well, we'll see what happens, because sometimes you're only seeing the surface symptom. You're not seeing the actual cause. The cause is what we want to be released out of our body at the cellular structure. So because of this powerful, it is advised that if you have history of cardiovascular, including angina, or any heart attacks or high blood pressure, glaucoma, retinal detachment, it's or if you've recently had any kind of surgery, I would ask that you please be responsible and do not participate. Maybe just observe, because remember, the energy that we're bringing in doing this is the energy of source. So once we go through this breath work, then what I'd like you to do is stay with me. I'm going to open up the chat, and you're going to be able to respond, or maybe share with me and others what you got out of it. So first and foremost, I want you to take your right hand and I want you to place it on your upper chest, high heart, they call it. So the high heart, and take your left hand and place it right so that your thumb is almost in your belly button. So what that's going to do is help regulate, and you, for your own exploration, is to see just how easy or how difficult it is for you to breathe. So most of us have not been taught how to breathe properly. So with a full breath, and for some of you, you might be able to keep up with me. And if you can, that's great. You might feel a little lightheaded. We are not hyperventilating. We are doing breath work. So if you stay with a controlled focus, consciously connecting the inhale with the exhale, you will be doing it properly. So the first time it might feel like a little bit of a struggle, but we're going to keep going. And if you feel a little nervous, just slow your breath down. That's all you have to do. We're going to be breathing inhale and exhale. I would like you to breathe through your mouth. We get the most benefit and the most oxygen when we consciously, in healing, breathe and inhale and exhale through the mouth. So I'm going to start breathing, and what I'd like you to do is just breathe with me. Breathe along with me. It's important that you try to just close your eyes and follow a conscious, connected, envision a circle. Inhale, exhale. Keep breathing. Your mouth is going to get dry. You might yawn. You might start to feel like you need more air because you're controlling. Bring it up here. Keep going. Close your eyes. The reason that your hand is on your upper chest is this is where you're filling up your breath. We're not breathing into the belly. We're trying to pull the inhale, expand the upper chest. The exhale is a surrender. It's a letting go. It's a releasing. Keep going, releasing. Focus on your breath, the circle. Focus on the breath. Stay focused. Keep going. Close your eyes. Release. Let the body go. You might be vibrating a little. If you're breathing fully, your toes all the way down to your toes, you'll feel it. Remember, full circle. On the inhale, pulling the breath right in, filling the upper chest, bringing the breath of God, filling, releasing on the exhale, releasing out divine love. Keep going. Try to stay with it. Focus the body on just the breath. Try to stay. Keep breathing. Your body should be vibrating. It's all normal. Keep going. Okay, so let's take one really, really full breath. Fill that glass of water with that divine source, light, breath from God. Hold it at the top. And release. So just sit. Try to stay in your body, be present. If you have any questions, go to the chat. Good job. So I know it was really a different experience. If you're tingling, it's normal. If you feel a little lightheaded, it's normal. Let yourself just kind of take a moment to just feel, explore, your tingling in your feet, and evolve into just a moment of breath. That's all this was. Now, normally, when you be breathing, you're breathing for an hour, sometimes longer, depending on how many cycles of breath can happen for you. And each cycle will be releasing different energy. Remember, we're all energy, and the expansive field around you is participating with you in the breath work. All the energy that you were moving into the cellular structure and all the energy that you're releasing out only brings in a feeling of more aliveness, more energetic. It's energy building on itself. It's almost like in a session, like climbing the mountain, and building and building until the breath just captures and it releases. So it's a very nourishing for the soul, especially. So if you have any questions or any comments, please go to the chat, and you can contact me on soulawakeningproject.com on the contact page. So that was just a couple minutes of breathing, and eventually what starts to happen is the feeling. Yeah, it is. It feels really good. It's alivening. And especially if you've breathed before and you start, instead of laying down when you're doing private session, if you start breathing like a few times a day, just kind of stop and thanks, Kath. And, just take 10 deep breaths. It's really, really, that 10 deep breaths will shift anything. So, one of the things I remember early on when I was breathing with a breath worker was when emotional upheaval, when I was releasing things, instead of getting into the emotion of it, what I would do was go, oh, what if I just breathe? Amazing. immediately a shift would happen. And instead of the mind taking hold of, oh, it's right, it's wrong, it's good, it's bad, it's, that chitter chatter, that is horrible, or there was no judgment. I just breathed and I realized it was neutralizing the emotions immediately. I mean, divine neutrality is a beautiful place, but it takes focus to get there, live there. The presence of that in and around you means that you are starting to experience, on some level, a soul-based life. The soul has no, distinction. It just is. It's here to experience life and have God experience life through these experiences that happen. And it's not a good experience. It's not a bad experience to the soul. It's a journey. So the more non-attachment that the breath takes us into, the quicker we can process the things that are stuck in the bottom of the glass, that stuff that's stuck in the bottom of our bodies. So that is quite a powerful experience, and especially the freedom that we gain from this, the sovereignty. We start, remember what I said earlier about the unconscious mind is exposed. That is where the patterns lie that we're still faithful, loyal to, but they serve no purpose. They were just things that happened that drew us into a conclusion about who and what we are and our worth and our value, how we should live our lives, and the rules of engagement. That doesn't necessarily mean that is who we are, though. So we're going to wrap it up really soon. I really appreciate everyone who took the time to join in and participate. And like I said, if you have any questions, go to my website and contact me. And also send me a note of what your experience was. And till next Sunday, I will be back here at 2 o'clock and we will breathe again. And even though it was a real short breathing session, it doesn't matter. Something shifted within the cellular structure of your body. And what that really means is maybe, just maybe, you allowed something, because we do have to allow it to happen. You allowed yourself to release something. So with my great gratitude and divine love sending out to you, and I hope you guys all have a beautiful week. And I'm really grateful and really blessed to be here doing this with all of you, whoever all of you are, because I'd like to know who you are. So don't forget, next week, maybe you can come to the channel ready to breathe right away, and we won't have to relax anymore. And I send divine love to you also. Thank you for entering into the chat and speaking. And I love you all. Bye.